Hi, so I'm Cardboard Face from OriginalRP, and some people are having some problems using the keypad tool and linking up fading doors on here. So just to get started, you make sure when you're using the fading door tool, you don't use it on a fence. It doesn't work on fence series. They're not meant to be part of your defense system. So let's go ahead and have a look at one of the other generic props. I'll just go through and find something nice for a door. One of these is pretty good. Let's have a look. So I'm going to stick this to the ground with precision move. Here we go. So you want one, if you want to link up one keypad or one input to a door, maybe one button, or I've seen people use wire keyboards or an E2 or any of those sort of things, all you need to simply do is build your keypad. So let's get one of these next to the door. Let's get myself a keypad. And all I have to do is make this door a fading door. Now I get to choose here, do I want it to be toggle, so every time the input fires the door either turns off or on, or do I want it to only be active while this is sending an output of 1. So if I set it to not toggle active, that's now a fading door. What I need to do is go to, inside my keypad you can see as well, let's just go over these settings real quick. The output must be 1 for on and 0 for off for it to be working with a fading door. Secure mode, that means that when you type your code in, it determines whether it's actually going to show the number or not. So let's clear that. Okay, and you can type in, just a little tip, you can type keys code straight in without actually having to press E like this. Just use your numpad. Anyway, the next thing then, hold length. That is how long the door will stay open for when you use the keypad. So someone that comes along with a lockpick, the door will actually just stay open for 8 seconds regardless when they actually finally crack through on this server. That's kind of why we've started revamping the entire fading door system, so there's no hotkeys or any of this junk in there. So I placed my keypad and the code was 1432, I think. Yep. Obviously it's not linked right now, so it does nothing. I've remembered to make this a fading door. I just go to the wire tab and then scroll down to wire right here. This is the wire tool. If you don't want a big chunky visible wire that's going to look all nasty going between two... Oh, it's not even there. Okay, well normally in wire if you have a console screen and buttons and things linked up, then it will show a wire, but maybe it won't with the fading door. Anyway, if you don't want to show nasty visible wires, set this down to 0. So I'm going to use my wire tool, and then I need to aim at my fading door, and I need to link this input, so fade, to the keypad's output, which will be access granted. So if I aim at my door with the wire tool, I'll click once, and now I'm choosing where I want to link that input to, and I don't want to link it to fade active. I don't want to link it to the door's fade active, and what that is the door will output fade active to tell other things if the door is open or not. So you might want to link that to a little light or something to tell you when the door's open or not. But anyway, I want to wire fade to this keypad. So now I've got my list of outputs. I'm going to select with the left mouse button so I can now pick one. What I want to click is access granted. I don't want the door to open when they get the code wrong. I want it to open when they get the code right. So I'm going to click again, and now it's linked to when I get the code correct. So if I have a look at here, it was 1432. So if I type that in, oh, I got it wrong. I'll type it with numpad 1432. Hit enter. There you go. Now it's opened, and it's going to stay open for 6.26 seconds. So if you want to type that in manually and make it a bit cleaner, you can just type that in yourself. Now what happens if I want to have a keypad on either side of the door? Well, fading doors can only be wired up to one thing at a time, so if I was to try and wire this to this keypad as well, it's not going to work anymore from this one. See? So here's where the problem lies as well. And what if you want a wire button too? What if you want a button on the inside and a keypad on the outside so that it's easier to get through? Or, let's get this button down, here we go. What if I want this door to be linked up and made of 2 props, not just 1 prop? What if I want to have 2 nice props here as well, so both of them open up when you use the keypad? Well, the problem with that is, it's not very fair on the raider if you've got 2 props set up as your fading door, and they lockpick one of the 2, but only one of them opens. So that's where the OriginalRP multi-box comes in handy. So if you have a look at the fading multi-box, the fading multi-door box tool, what I can do is put this down somewhere, and I can configure again how my doors will all work. So this will override whatever the fading door settings are. So do I want them toggle active? No. Do I want it reverse, which means they start open and when you get the code right they actually close? No, I don't want that. So I'm going to spawn this somewhere, wherever I want. Now you can see in the top left of my screen, just up here, it actually always shows you the hotkeys for these tools and little tooltips. So that's always useful to look back over. So left click is just to spawn more of these boxes, right click is to change a multi-boxes fading doors. So I need to right click on this, and I want to tell it which props I want to use as a fading door. So let me just make this one a fading door real quick as well. Now I'm going to right click on here, and I'm in edit mode. You can see now left click is to add a fading door, right click is to remove one, and R is to exit the edit mode. So I'm going to left click this one. Now that door is added, you can see right here. Left click this one's added too, and I can right click to remove, left click to add again. So now this thing here, when this is triggered, both of these fading doors are going to open up. So now all I have to do is link up, if I go back to my wire tool just here, link up this fading multi-box with some triggers. So what I want is I want trigger 1, I'll make that this keypad. So I've left clicked to select trigger 1, left click, and I want to set it to, when you get the code right, that will fire this. So if I type in my code, I started with a 4, 1, 4, 3, 2, hit enter. Now they've both opened. Now if I want to link this button to the fading doors as well, I'll go to my wire tool, go on here, and I don't want to override trigger 1 because that's my keypad. So I'm going to scroll down, trigger 2, click on the button. Now that button's linked as well, and now I can press this to fire the box, and you can hear it sparking as well. Every time you fire the box, it's going to spark and the doors will open as well. And I could add as many, up to 5 inputs as I want, and lots of fading doors. So I could also have a little Ranger or an E2. So let's get an E2 chip, an IC2. Where is that? Chips and gates, a door, owner only. Where's owner only? Owner only door, so it's a door that opens only when I go near it. So I'm going to wire this one up. Trigger 3 is not assigned, so I'll wire up here, fade, and that means when I walk up to it, oh, I got stuck in the wall. There we go, it opens for me. It only opens when I walk near the chip, so I'm going to have to stay closer to it. There we go. So that's how you wire up multiple inputs to multiple doors. That's how you use the keypads on this server. And then, yeah, there you go. That's pretty much everything.